Hey and welcome to this series. In this series we are going to create an authentication system where you can first of all verify your email address. You're going to be able to view a user profile, change your password, and edit your user profile. So that's what we are going to build, and we're also going to have a pagination of every user on the front page that you then can go in and see without being an admin or as an admin. And we are also going to implement the ability to have an admin user. So we're going to create basically a more advanced user authentication system. So first of all, we need to go into our env file, and I always use SQLite because it's the easiest thing to set up. You can use MySQL if you want to, or another database driver. And when you use SQLite, you need to make sure you remove everything beside the DB connection. And then we also need to create a file inside our database folder, which we're then gonna call database.sqlite. And what we want to do now is we want to go inside here, and we want to say PHP artisan make authentication. Actually, we want to first of all add in the admin to the migration file here, and then we want to create the authentication and migrate the files. So we want to go in here and we want to say table boolean. We want to say is admin, and we want to say default 0. Okay, great. Then we want to say PHP artisan make authentication, PHP artisan migrate. So we are basically running both commands at the same time by using the semicolon. And what we can do in the meantime is we can go inside our routes here, and in the routes we can go in and make the route for the user profile. So what we will do here is we will say route get user ID user controller slash profile, and then we want to say name it profile, user profile. Okay, great. So now we have this route here, and what we can do now is we can create the controller for it. So let's say PHP artisan make controller user controller, and now inside here we want to go in and basically we just want to go in our user controller and create the different kind of functions we need. So we need to have public function edit for editing user profile, public function update for updating the user profile. So basically the difference here is we have the edit, which will be returning the route, whereas the update will actually update your user details. Then we will have public function profile, which was the function we are calling here, and then we will have public function password edit, and then you will have public function password update. So for now we will just focus on the profile here. So let's say we first of all will implement use app user, and then we will go in here and we will simply create a variable called user, and we want to make sure that we find from the ID which we pass in here. We want to simply make sure that we find this user from this ID. So let's make sure that we also pass it in here so we won't get any errors. And then we want to say if user else, if the user exists, we want to return view with user, and let's call this user here. Okay, great. If it in the case doesn't exist, we actually want to say return redirect back, and then we want to actually just go in here and we want to make sure that we return the view. So we want to return view user.profile. So what we want to do now is we want to create those files that we need. So we basically need 3 files in our resource file. So let's go in and say we're gonna have first of all the folder called user, and in user we want to have the file called edit.blade.php, password.blade.php, and we also want to have something called profile.page.php. So for now we just want to go in here and basically just copy this and put this inside our profile here. Then we want to say end section, and we want to say we have a div with the class container. Inside the container we want to have a h1 with the username. So let's say user and then the name. Okay, great. So now what will happen is when we basically create a user and access it via the ID the user have, we will be able to view it here. So the last thing we want to do before we go and test this out is we want to be able to implement in the navigation so we can easily access it. So we want to go into our layouts app.blade.php, and in here we want to pretty much just copy and paste this. So we want to go in here and just remove the JavaScript, of course, because we don't need that here. Then we want to say route user.profile, and get the user ID from the authenticated user. And then we want to say view profile. Okay, great. So now if we actually go in and run this by saying php artisan serve, what we should be able to do now is go in and view the user profile page by accessing the URL up here. Okay, so looks like there's no error so far. So let's go in and register a user. Okay, so we already have an error here. So let's see what this error is. So we forgot to put in the parentheses here. So if we now go in and change this, it should fix the error. So now we just need to go in and create a user profile, and let's say something like password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, which is not a secure password, but I'm not gonna use my own password here. So we are just gonna wait to see what happens now. It should just go into the home page here, and we can go in and view the user profile. Hopefully. Okay, great. So now what we want to check is what happens if we go in and try to type in some random text here that is a user that doesn't exist. We go back to the old route, which is this one here. Great. So now the last thing we want to do is, and we can do this in several ways. We can first of all create a script that will change the title, so we can actually change the title up here, or we can go in and we can change per route, which is a bit more complicated and takes a bit more time. So I'm gonna use the script here because that's the simplest thing. So this is just basically to say that we have small script in here and say type text slash JavaScript, and in here we want to say document.title equals user name, and then we want to say something like this should print out your username in the title here. So if we now wait in here, it will say Matilde's profile. This is by far the fastest way and the easiest way I know how to change the title in here. Of course there's other ways to do this, and if you have another way, please let me know. Thank you very much for watching this video, and see you in the next video where we are gonna implement the edit function